For decades, we've been told the answer to aging well is simple. Just keep walking. Morning walks, small walks, evening strolls. They're supposed to be the heartbeat of healthy aging. But what if I told you that for many older adults, walking isn't just tiring, it's stressful, painful, and sometimes even risky? And more importantly, that it's not the only way to keep your heart strong or your body moving. You see, there's a quiet pressure that hangs over people as they age. A pressure to stay active, to move more, to prove they're still capable. But no one talks about the hidden cost of that pressure, the shame of slowing down, the guilt of not keeping up, the fear that resting means giving up. And for many people over 65, walking, while noble and effective, can feel like an uphill battle. Arthritis flares, knees ache, ankles swell, and the heart races not from exertion, but from anxiety. What if I fall? What if I can't make it back? What if something's wrong with me? So here's the truth no one says aloud. You don't have to walk to be healthy. You don't have to walk to protect your heart, your circulation, your strength, or your independence. There are other ways, gentler, safer, and in many cases, more effective, especially if walking feels like a burden. In this video, we're going to explore 5 alternatives to walking that are grounded in science and backed by real-life results. They don't require a gym. They don't demand stamina. They don't even need you to leave your chair. Instead, they meet you exactly where you are. They work with your body, not against it. They help you build strength, improve circulation, and reduce the risks that walking is often meant to solve without the strain. And along the way, you'll hear stories of people just like you. People who once felt stuck, defeated, and overlooked, but who discovered something unexpected, that even the smallest motion, when done with purpose and care, can restore not just health, but hope. Let's start this journey together, not with pressure, not with pain, but with permission. Permission to move differently. Permission to thrive gently. Permission to stop feeling guilty and start feeling empowered. Because your heart doesn't care if you're not walking. It cares if you're moving. And that movement begins now. 1. Seated leg pumps. Mimics the pumping motion of walking without joint strain. Engages the calves, the second heart, to improve circulation. Helps reduce swelling, cold feet, and clot risk. Ideal for those who are sedentary or recovering. Empowers older adults with a sense of participation in their recovery. Asterisk, let's start with something simple. No gym, no treadmill, no pressure. Just a chair, your breath, and a small movement that holds surprising power. It's called the seated leg pump, and it's not just an exercise. It's a lifeline. See, inside your lower legs are muscles that act like pumps, particularly the calf muscles. When you walk, run, or climb stairs, these muscles squeeze the veins in your legs, pushing blood back up toward your heart. It's such an essential part of circulation that doctors call your calves the second heart. But here's the problem. When you stop moving, whether due to age, injury, or fear of falling, that second heart goes quiet. And when it stops helping your blood flow upward, things slow down. Blood pools in your legs, swelling starts. Your feet feel cold. You get lightheaded. Your risk of blood clots goes up. And the worst part? You don't even notice it's happening until it becomes a crisis. That's where the seated leg pump comes in. Because even if you can't walk far or walk at all, you can activate your second heart with this tiny, gentle movement. Here's how. Sit tall in a chair. Feet flat on the ground. Slowly lift your heels while keeping your toes down then. Lower them. Repeat. That's it. It looks like nothing, but inside your body, it's everything. Let me tell you about Gerald, a 74-year-old who developed swelling in his ankles after recovering from a hip surgery. He felt trapped. He couldn't go for walks. He hated the compression socks. He was embarrassed by how weak he felt. His doctor taught him the seated leg pump. At first, Gerald did just 10 reps, 3 times a day. Within a week, the swelling began to reduce. Within a month, his energy improved. Why? Because he was no longer letting blood pool in his legs. He was pumping it back where it belonged. The magic wasn't in movement, it was in circulation. And that's the shift we all need to make. We often focus on what we can't do. I can't walk far anymore. I can't make it up the stairs. I get winded too fast. But what if you focused on what you can do? Because even if all you can do is lift your heels while watching TV, you're still keeping your blood moving. You're still protecting your heart. You're still telling your body, I haven't given up on you. This isn't just exercise, it's a decision. A decision to move in a way that honors your current body, not the one you had 30 years ago, but the one you have today. And let's be honest, it takes courage to start over with something that feels so small. But the older we get, the more we learn. Small steps make the biggest difference. So today, try seated leg pumps. 10 repetitions, 3 times a day. It might just change your circulation and your story. 2 wall push-ups. Strengthens upper body, heart-supporting muscles, and improves breathing. Entirely weight-supported and safe for aging joints. Emotional benefits include posture improvement and stress relief. Helps older adults rediscover confidence and upper body strength. The word push-up can feel intimidating. It brings to mind images of athletes, boot camps, and sore arms. But what if I told you that one of the most powerful heart-strengthening movements you can do doesn't happen on the floor, but at the wall? Enter the wall push-up, an elegant low-impact movement that strengthens not just your arms and chest, but the very muscles that support your heart, breathing, and confidence. As we age, our upper body strength declines faster than we realize. We lose posture, our shoulders cave in, our chest tightens, our lungs shrink just a bit, and slowly we start to take shallower breaths. Wall push-ups reverse that. They open you up literally. Here's how it works. Stand facing a wall. Place your hands on the wall, shoulder width apart, at chest height. Step back slightly. Slowly bend your elbows and lean toward the wall, then push yourself back. That's 1 rep. You're using your own body weight, but only as much as feels comfortable. No floor, no strain, no equipment, but the benefits? Enormous. You're building strength in your chest and shoulders for better posture and breathing. Upper back to counteract the slump of aging. Triceps and arms to keep reaching, lifting, and hugging. Core stability, which supports balance and reduces fall risk. And even more importantly, you're reconnecting with your body in a way that feels powerful, not punishing. Let me share the story of Rosa, 69. After 2 minor falls and a long winter indoors, she stopped trusting her body. She avoided reaching for things, stopped lifting pans, slouched more. When her daughter showed her wall push-ups, she laughed, "That's not real exercise." But she agreed to try. By the end of the week, Rosa was doing 5 reps every morning. Within a month, her arms felt stronger. Her breath deepened. She stood taller in family photos. And when she dropped her phone at the store, she reached down and picked it up without fear and smiled. This isn't just about strength. It's about agency. Because when you feel stronger, you move more. When you move more, you live more. Wall push-ups give you that back, not through pain, but through consistency. Not through sweat, but through purpose. Start with 5 reps. Build to 10, even 15. Do them against your kitchen wall, or the hallway, or the bathroom mirror. You don't need a trainer. You just need the belief that you're still capable, because you are. Your arms still matter. Your breath still matters. You still matter. 3 seated leg lifts. Activates thighs, hips, and calves to move blood upward. Relieves swelling and fatigue caused by prolonged sitting. Easy to perform during TV time or daily routines. Reinforces independence and control over one's own body. Asterisk, sometimes the simplest movement is the most underestimated. When people hear the words leg lifts, they picture workout routines, sore hips, and stretching videos from the 80s. But seated leg lifts? Most people assume they're too easy to matter. That's where they're wrong. You see, what seated leg lifts do isn't just about muscle. It's about blood flow, balance, and belief. When you sit for long periods, which many older adults understandably do, your lower body slows down. Circulation weakens. Your thighs tighten, your hips stiffen, and blood doesn't return to the heart as efficiently. That leads to swelling, restlessness, even poor oxygen flow to the brain. Here's the beauty. You don't need to walk laps or march upstairs. You just need to lift one leg at a time. Here's how. Sit in a sturdy chair with your back straight. Gently straighten one leg out in front of you until it's parallel with the ground or as far as comfortable. Hold for a breath, then lower it. Repeat with the other leg. Start with 5 lifts per side. Then build from there. Why is this so powerful? Because you're activating major muscle groups. Quadriceps, your thigh muscles, key to standing and walking. Hip flexors, which often weaken and cause balance issues. Core stabilizers, because holding your leg up requires coordination. And all of it supports one vital goal, sending blood back to your heart. This is especially helpful if you've had surgery, extended bed rest, arthritis flare-ups, long sedentary days. Let me share the story of Dennis, 77, a retired teacher. Dennis began feeling foggy and heavy-legged during the pandemic. He stayed indoors, sat a lot, and lost some of his confidence. His doctor told him to walk more, but he didn't feel safe doing so alone. Instead, Dennis started a ritual. Every morning during the news, he did 10 seated leg lifts on each side. After lunch, another round. Within weeks, he noticed less swelling in his calves. He felt sharper. And one day, without thinking, he walked to his neighbor's mailbox and realized his body had been waiting for him to move. The key wasn't effort, it was consistency. Not drama but dedication. Seated leg lifts remind you that your legs don't just carry your weight, they carry your potential. And when you move them, gently, regularly, with care, you're not just exercising, you're activating life. Because one leg lift becomes 2, then 10, then the freedom to stand longer. Reach higher, go further. That's how strength sneaks back in quietly, kindly, one lift at a time. 4. Hand grip squeezes. Enhances circulation, reduces systolic blood pressure. Recommended by cardiologists for seniors with hypertension. Grip strength is linked to longevity and overall health. Simple tools, for example tennis ball, can empower users at any mobility level. Asterisk. When we think of heart health, we rarely think of the hands. We focus on the chest, the lungs, the legs. But the truth is, your hands hold more power than you realize, especially when it comes to circulation, blood pressure, and overall longevity. That's where hand grip squeezes come in. At first glance, it might sound silly. Squeeze a ball? Really? But science and stories tell us it's one of the most underestimated forms of exercise for older adults. Here's why. As we age, vascular stiffness increases and blood pressure rises. The arteries don't expand as easily, and circulation to the extremities, especially the hands and feet, can falter. That's why many older adults complain of cold hands, tingling fingers, or even sudden blood pressure spikes. Now here's the magic. Studies show that isometric hand grip exercises, just squeezing and holding, can reduce systolic blood pressure significantly. Some reports even show a 10-point drop in just a few weeks. All it takes is this. Hold a soft ball or grip trainer in your hand. Squeeze gently but firmly. Hold for 5 seconds. Release. Repeat for 2 minutes per hand. Do this 3 to 4 times a week. The benefits? Improved arterial flexibility, lowered resting blood pressure, increased blood flow to fingers and hands, stronger grip strength, which is directly correlated to longevity and functional independence. Let's pause on that last point. Grip strength. It's not just about opening jars or lifting bags. Researchers have found that grip strength is a better predictor of future health than even blood pressure or BMI. It reflects overall muscle tone, heart resilience, and how well your body is holding up under the strain of aging. Let me tell you about Sylvia, 81. She used to paint, write long letters, and work in her garden. But arthritis and fatigue made her hands feel weak, untrustworthy. She began using a soft resistance ball while watching her favorite evening show. At first, it was just a few squeezes. Then she built a routine. A month later, not only was her blood pressure down, but she started painting again. Her hands didn't just regain function, they reclaimed her joy. Grip work is discreet. You can do it at the table, in bed, while chatting. No sweat, no noise, no joint strain. But inside your body, it's lowering stress, regulating your cardiovascular system, and telling your nervous system, you're still strong. And that belief? That's everything. Because in a world that moves fast, that tells older people to sit down, quiet down, slow down, every squeeze is a reminder that you still have a say in your health. So pick up a tennis ball, or a stress ball, or a rolled up sock. And remember, your hands once held babies, built homes, stirred pots, wrote checks, tied shoes. They still hold value. They still hold you. 5 seated leg raises. Promotes blood return to the heart and oxygenation of lower body. Helps prevent clots, swelling, and vascular stress. Reinforces lower body strength, balance, and independence. Encourage daily movement without fear or discomfort. Asterisk. By now, you've seen that exercise doesn't have to mean sweat, pain, or pressure. It doesn't require you to go fast, far, or even to stand. Sometimes the most meaningful movement is the kind that brings you back to yourself with steadiness, with safety, and with strength that builds quietly over time. That's what's seated leg raises do. Unlike leg pumps, which lift the heels, or leg lifts, which focus on motion, leg raises ask for intentional control. It's a small challenge to gravity, a reminder that even sitting, you can grow stronger. And that strength supports everything: your balance, your circulation, and your confidence. Here's how to do them. Sit in a firm, stable chair. Straighten your back. Slowly lift one leg until it's fully extended, as straight as you can comfortably hold. Pause. Engage your thigh. Hold it steady for 2 to 3 seconds, then slowly lower it down. Repeat with the other leg. This isn't about speed. It's about connection between your brain and your body, between where you are now and where you'd like to be again. Here's what happens when you do it regularly. Your thigh muscles grow stronger, which makes standing and walking easier. Your hip flexors activate, improving posture and reducing fall risk. Your lower body circulation improves, helping reduce swelling and leg fatigue. And your core engages to stabilize you, which means more energy and better digestion. But beyond, the physical leg raises do something deeper. They train your body to reclaim stability, to sit with power, to move with precision. And perhaps most importantly, they train your mind to stop assuming fragility. Let's meet Howard, 83, a widower who spent most of his days reading by the window. Howard had started needing help to get out of chairs. He felt embarrassed when neighbors saw him struggle at the community center, so he avoided going. But one day, a physical therapist showed him how to do seated leg raises. He started with 3, then 5, then 10. After 2 weeks, he noticed something subtle. When he stood up, he didn't need to rock forward twice. By week 4, he stood once clean, upright. By month 2, he returned to the center. Sat, stood, no assistance. He didn't say anything. He just smiled and stayed for bingo. These moments may sound small, but they're not. Because every leg raise builds the strength that underpins your independence. The strength to rise, to reach, to show up. And let's be honest, it's not just about muscle. It's about meaning. Because aging isn't a problem to solve. It's a reality to navigate with grace. And movement, done gently and consistently, becomes a compass. A signal to your body and your spirit that you still have places to go. So begin today. 5 seated leg raises on each side. Slowly, thoughtfully, daily. And each time you rise from that chair without wobble, without help, without fear, remember, you earned that. You've just learned 5 gentle but powerful ways to protect your heart, support your circulation, and rebuild your strength without walking a single step. Not because walking is bad, but because for many, walking isn't the best place to begin. Let's review. Seated leg pumps. Wake up your second heart, your calves, and keep blood flowing, even when sitting. Wall push-ups. Build posture, strength, and breathing power with no floor, no strain. Seated leg lifts. Light up your thighs, hips, and core to prepare your body to move. Hand grip squeezes. Lower blood pressure and strengthen your nervous system from the palm of your hand. Seated leg raises. Restore confidence in standing, balance, and independence, one controlled lift at a time. But beyond the movements, this was about something more. It was about reminding you that you still have agency. That aging isn't a full stop, it's a transition. One where success doesn't mean pushing harder, it means moving smarter. Because when you choose to move, even in small ways, you begin to change how your body sees itself. You switch from surviving to participating, from managing decline to activating growth. And make no mistake, this isn't about vanity. It's not about lifting weights or looking younger. It's about living with intention, feeling the breath move freely through your lungs, standing from a chair with strength instead of struggle, opening a jar without fear, holding a grandchild without pain, laughing at a dinner table, not gasping after walking across a room. These 5 exercises aren't a replacement for walking. They're an invitation back into motion, a gateway to confidence, a way to say, I may be older, but I'm not done. And here's the secret no one tells you. The body remembers. It may forget speed, but it remembers strength. It remembers balance. It remembers what it's like to move with purpose, and it welcomes it back. The moment you begin. So today, don't wait for motivation. Don't wait until you feel stronger to start. Start, and that's how you'll feel stronger. Because whether you're 60 or 90, sitting or standing, discouraged or determined, you are still capable of change. And these small acts of movement, they aren't just exercises, they're acts of defiance. They say, I'm still here. I'm still moving. I'm still choosing myself. And no matter where you are on your journey, that's more than enough.